Greetings and welcome to Flavourful Eats. Today I have Irena joining me. How nice.
Hi, how are you? So great to see you.
Good to see you too. And we're working on fall right now.
Yes,
Already?
Yeah, can you believe it?
I know. And you know, beets, what better way to get your energy going and all the good things. And you chose a good topic today.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, it's so good to see you. It's about a year later.
Yes.
The last time that I joined you was in September of last year.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So shall we get started? And soon, I know you're making sort of a salad.
Yeah, so not overly cooked.
Right.
Partly cooked. We're going to boil the beets, and I'm going to show you. I got these. They were packages of 6. I got them from the farm, Hutchins Farm in Concord.
Oh, nice.
And these are small ones. I wanted to bring and show you 2 different varieties that are bigger. These are nice to put and bake.
Oh, yes, to roast them.
Yeah, I like to bake them at a low temperature. Yeah, so about 300 or 325 for quite some time. But when you get little ones, you can easily put them on your stovetop and they'll be ready in no time.
Yes, I mean, both ways, even that can be baked also, but a little higher heat for smaller ones.
Yeah.
You cook it better.
Yeah.
And roasting brings a nice sweetness, and that makes them more juicy, right?
Yeah.
Each one has its own benefits for sure.
So the dish that we're going to make is actually one, we're going to use basil, and on the other half, we're going to use dill with sour cream. So essentially, you could be making all of the little beets. We're going to put them all in the pan. And then save half for later, or you could freeze it and then use it. And it's just a great way to see how you can have the base of the same dish, but in different flavors.
Right.
Just like your show.
And you can also, like we said, beets can be used in so many different ways.
Yeah, and so healthy.
So healthy. You can just grate them after, even before boiling, you can grate them and add different things. And yes, let's get started with the show.
Okay, excellent.
And as you could talk, we can continue.
One of the things that I'm going to use is an onion, and I have today 2 different onions. I generally use a yellow onion, but I also wanted to show you that you can use a Vidalia onion. This is a sweet onion. So whichever one you have in the house, you can use. I typically do half for 6 of the beets. This one's much bigger. This one's a little bit smaller, but this one is much sharper.
Yes.
Much sharper taste. So whichever one you have, you can use, and I'll prep it and I'll chop it, and we'll start with that. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to wash these, and then I'm going to quarter them. And I also want to show you that I'm going to cut these just so you can see how the different varieties look inside.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, we'll get started.
Yes. Okay, Irena started the process. You can see it's already done. Right? I mean, and you're going to be showing one more how you did it all, right?
Yes.
Again.
Okay. So basically you cut the end right here, and you also cut this part.
So before we do all of this, you must always remember a beet is a tuber. So it grows in underground, meaning it gets a lot of grit and everything else. So you need to really wash it well.
Yeah.
And then to preserve your nutrients, you don't need to peel it. But if you think that the grit is really going to get to you, yes, go ahead and peel it. But you are just scraping it off.
Yes.
And having it ready.
And that's what it means to quarter. And again, they're small, so you can, this is a perfect size for putting them in the pan.
So do you put water in there?
We're going to do the onion first.
Okay.
We're going to cut the onion, and then we are going to add the beets afterwards.
So one quick thing is when somebody is working with beets, and sometimes some people have the tendency of the color really sticking in. I mean, of course, after many wash, it can come out. Use a pair of gloves. You can always use a pair of kitchen gloves or food gloves to cut your beets. So you see, you got all the very pretty colors.
Yes, this one is actually
Yellow,
but it did have a little bit of the red from the other one. So 2 different varieties, and this one's more pink. So these are the 3 different varieties. This is the one that you will generally find at the grocery store, and then farms around here or you know, throughout New England, they do grow other varieties as well. So that's what we have.
And each one actually, the pigment of it determines all of them are very healthy, but there is one particular thing that it has. It starts with B, and of course it won't come right now. It's a little more on red and a little less on that one and a little less. So it's so interesting, the nutrients of all of this. Yeah,
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just adding a tiny bit of oil to the bottom. We're going to saute the onions. You don't want to cook it heavily because you're also going to be adding the beets. And I do flavor it at this point, so add a little bit of salt and a bit of pepper. Oh, and it's already starting to smell so nice. Yes,
absolutely.
Right? Yeah, and it's you can feel the strong onion. It's very fresh.
That's a good thing about the farmer's market, right?
Goodness. Yeah. Yes. And then we will be adding the beets to it. And also the other thing is we'll add a little bit of water and then cover it and then let it sit. Meanwhile, I made some quinoa. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this was just 1 cup that I made.
And you added 2 cups of water and a little bit of salt.
Oh my goodness.
And let it cook for about 20 minutes, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is good, and now we're going to add these, and we're going to add the rest as well. Okay, so part of what you're going to do is you're going to add water right here, and then...
So is it a cup of water you added?
Yes, it is a cup of water, and then we're going to add that cover up there, and this will cook, and meanwhile, we can prep the herbs.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
For me, when I cook beets, I actually love it without salt. No sugar, no salt. Yes.
Without salt?
Yes, I have it without salt. I love it like that.
Wow.
I just like eating a roasted beet on its own with nothing, just a roasted beet.
Okay.
It's wonderful.
So we'll have to try that. We'll all have to try it.
Okay. So this is, you're now doing the dill, you're cutting up the dill, chopping up the dill?
Yes. So one of the recipes is basil and lemon.
Right.
And the other one is dill and sour cream.
Okay. So basil and lemon reminds me a little bit of pesto.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So for the basil, I am going to use, so for the basil, I use 1/2 cup, and for the dill, 1/4 cup.
Yes, dill is much stronger.
Yeah. So I always like, so I just washed this. What a gorgeous bouquet of basil.
Yes, absolutely.
It's really wonderful. And I like to use scissors for cutting it. And I'm going to go ahead and basically hold it together. And then you don't need to cut it very fine because your beets are on the bigger side, so they're not chopped. So here we go. And these, if you don't like the stems, you can leave them out. However, they're very tender, so I tend to use them. But if they're really woody ones, then of course, please, don't. All right, so let's see. So if I was to measure 1/2 cup, I think this is about 1/2 cup.
Yes, it is 1/2 cup.
Did that just happen?
Yeah.
Miraculously? Yeah, there we go. So 1/2 cup right here. And then we're going to have the lemon. For the lemon, remember to always press down a bit. That will help squeeze a little bit better.
You get out more of the juice.
Yes. And look at this, beautiful. Only 1 or 2
seeds.
So.
Well, we need the seeds to procreate, right?
All right, so this is going to be ready for that. And then for the dill I do like to cut it more on the
fine side.
Yeah, because it's easy. They're not like so here we go. I'm going to start from the top.
And you're just using 1/4 cup of that one, right?
Yes.
And this all enhances the nutritional value of the
exactly. And it also gives it, different flavor. So you've got the same vegetable, but in a different
kind of amazing how a
Yeah.
little bit of herbs make such a big difference in taste. and flavor.
Exactly, exactly, and you can vary. So there you go. We've got a quarter cup of that, and we're gonna add also a quarter cup of sour cream, but right at the end. So let's see
So
how this
one
is.
interesting fact is, besides all the good nutritional power of all of this that's coming
It's a little
through,
hot.
it's gluten free.
It is gluten-free.
And for those who are vegan,
Yeah.
there is vegan sour cream, so you don't have to be
Yes.
using dairy sour cream.
Yeah, and if you want to, you can just skip it entirely. You could just do just dill and
Right.
not even
I
do
can
that.
do it for you.
Okay. All right, so this is doing pretty good. I'm just gonna switch, I'm gonna turn them around a little bit. So the onions are getting the beautiful red. color. How gorgeous is that? And of course, this will be quite nice. And we made also some lentils here as well. So you can serve it with lentils and the quinoa.
Quinoa.
Quinoa. Always saying it the wrong way.
Quinoa always, and lentils both had a powerhouse of protein,
That's
but you
right.
have it all in here too.
Yeah.
So,
So there we go. We're almost ready with it.
okay.
So the herbs, I don't add it over here while it's cooking. They're so fine, you put it in there, they're just gonna boil.
Yes.
So you put it right at the end. So what I'm gonna show you is we're gonna set up the two platters in two different ways. And then I'll show you how to incorporate the herbs. And yeah, and
sounds
this
like
is a
fun.
wonderful thing. And as we go into winter, you'll see a lot more of the beetroots, and it's an economical way to have it.
Yes, and the thing is, what we've done a show before with
Yeah.
beetroots, and
Yeah.
my guest there showed how you use the greens. And yes, the greens can be used.
Yes.
It's a powerhouse of nutrition too.
Yeah.
So maybe Patrick can link the both shows so people can get a
Yeah.
chance of seeing both together. And once
Exactly.
again, and it's a different flavors all together.
I know.
Yes,
I
and
know.
yeah, with that one we had a really nice soup as well, which is very nice for the winter. As much as
Exactly.
these kind of things, the quinoa and the lentils all make that
Exactly.
heat and feels good. And the good thing about beets, it helps to widen your for people with high blood pressure and all that, with the
Yeah.
nitrates in that, it actually helps with all of that, right? With all the, I'm no medical doctor, so I don't want to use all the medical terms, but our way to good health is good nutrition.
Yes, and beets are just a fantastic and often overlooked vegetable.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's really, really easy to make. So we're hoping you're going to do it. And I know now you also watch my show, Irena Hentea's Kitchen, which is thanks to you. So I so appreciate it. And yeah, so I think we'll turn this off.
So the thing about the adding different flavors, if people maybe put off of beets because it comes from the tuber, from the ground,
Yeah.
it tastes a little bit earthy.
Mm.
But different ways of cooking, actually, for me, it doesn't taste earthy at all. I don't know
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah, no, I love beets. I've
And like
always
I
loved beets.
Said, adding all these different ingredients takes out that
Yes.
those tastes
So
if you
I
don't
think
like it.
we're just turned this off, and we're gonna bring two platters, and we're gonna show you how to.
So do you want to
put it
show
all
our
together.
guests how you know it's cooked?
Yes. So let me see. I have here a fork. Okay. So you can see these. You can boil them a lot more. I like them. Beets are very common in salads too. So if your fork can go inside, it's good. If you want it, if you prefer to have it really, really cooked, of course, just add more water and boil it for a bit longer.
Looking at it right now, I can see you don't really need water because beets itself has a little bit of water. I mean,
yeah,
there
that's
is more.
true.
If you want to cook a little more, between
Yeah.
the beets, the onion, and the water you've already added, I think it's more than enough.
Yeah, and you can see here how I didn't peel this. The skin is so thin, but right beneath the skin is a lot of nutrients. So if you get really good, high quality beets,
Organic.
you won't need to. Okay, so we are ready to prep this, and we have the beets,
Beets is already done,
Yeah.
like we figured out before.
and then we also have. I'm going to add some lentils. So I have put salt in them before cooking them. Do you like to put it right next to it?
However you would feel like
Okay.
it's presentation at the end of the day, right? We eat with our
Yeah.
eyes first.
Yes. Okay. You can also put the beets on it if you want to make a whole bed, but I'm not doing it this time, so I'm just gonna add it right next to it. And again, if you'd like to just add a little bit of sauce right here, you bring it all together. Then the lemon, a little bit of lemon right up here, and basil.
So this you want first serve family style. You do it individual bowls.
Well, we're doing it individually here
Okay.
to show you how it would come together. But of course, you can bring it to the table.
Right. Then in such a case, you put the beets in a bowl and put the lemon juice
Right.
and the
Exactly.
basil over.
Exactly. So right here, I'll add this too, and I could do maybe shift it more to show you how if you were to put the beets on top. So let's say you different presentation, and for this right here, I'm gonna try and do just the ones on the top that are a bit cooled. But for this one with the sour cream, you want to add when it's not really hot.
Yes, the sour cream would separate.
Yeah, so then you've got a little bit of this. And then, so I'm gonna add a bit of sour cream on top of it. If you were to mix it for the half, you're looking at doing a 1/4 cup of sour cream and then a 1/4 cup of dill. And then you've got the dill right here, and it all mixes together. And there you have it. 2 wonderful dishes in completely different ways,
Oh,
but easy to make and just a great way to start the fall, continue the winter, and really you can have this all year round.
And keep as healthy as possible.
right.
And
Yeah.
build your immunity. And
Exactly.
you know, the fastest food to cook in the legumes is this
The
lentils. It
Yeah.
takes like within 10 minutes it's
I
all
know.
done.
I feel they're so versatile. And for today, I used 1/2 pound of lentils and 4 cups of water.
Okay. And you
And-
let it cook within the water. You mean you didn't
Yes.
have to
Yeah, you-
drain it out?
No,
Okay.
no. That's
So
exactly.
1/2 to 4.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you wanted a little more grainy, then you put a little less water.
Yes.
A little bit more mushy, put a little more water.
Could do that.
And it cooks in 10 minutes. Well,
Yeah.
Thank
so
you.
it's so wonderful to be reunited
yes.
and cooking again.
And look at this. This is a really delicious,
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
Somebody trying to stay away from salt and oil and
Exactly.
sugar.
Yeah.
You can omit all of them totally, and
Yeah.
you still have a very nutritious meal.
Yes. And it's something that you can also pack for lunches.
Yes.
So what you could do for lunches, you could even use those mason jars. You could put the lentils at the bottom, the quinoa in the middle, and then you can add your beets, and then when you get to the office, you mix it all
Your
together.
seasoning.
Easy things versatile things that you can
Yes,
do.
yes, yes. In today's world, we need simple,
Yes.
quick,
And flavorful.
nutritious,
Yeah.
and most important, flavorful.
Yeah.
From Flavourful Eats. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Irena.
Thank you.
And I'm Hamsha Naidu, always available on YouTube at ActonTV.org too. Thank you. Till we meet again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.